Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mario here once again, and I'm back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos, as you guys should probably already know me. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Game Gear / Sega Master System. And of course, welcome back for some more of Sonic's Game Gear Marathon department. So, yeah, last time we managed to explore through the familiar zone that is usually, revisit since during the Mega Drive version, which is essentially Green Hill Zone. And we managed to discover through the most unique zone in this particular version, that was the form of the Bridge Zone. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll present to you, which is going to be the third zone in this game, and also the second unique zone as well. So even then though, welcome to the Jungle Zone. This was not in the Mega Drive version as well, so even then though, that what makes this so unique about this stage in particular is the fact that we're going to be exploring this jungle environment. So even then though, that was my fault. I kept on thinking to myself there's going to be a Chaos Emerald around here, but I wasn't looking up enough, so even then though, that should be fine. But regardless of such though, there might be a Chaos Emerald on this next part and onwards, so even then though, yeah. So as you expected, that it kind of reminds me like I was exploring for the jungle. Oh god dang it! What am I doing so badly on this particular level? I think it's probably because of the the screen crunch and all that stuff. But thankfully though, there's a checkpoint right there. Because yeah, as you can see, that in order to actually get yourself a checkpoint again, you must able to actually keep on attacking it, just in case you're able to save your checkpoint. So if not, then you have to go all the way back to the beginning. So it's not that fun if you actually just manage to miss that. So, and every once in a while, we're gonna be walking on the logs every time you see this little tiny logs that you must able to run into. So even though you can either press either left or right, it depends on what direction you'll be going to. So even though that might be very useful if you actually go to the go across the water and all that stuff. Speaking of such though, the third Chaos Emerald is actually located down here, and that's what the log usually comes into play. But even though if you go continuously to the left, in the bottom part of the this particular section alone, and that way you should be able to find yourselves the third Chaos Emerald. So only 3 more to go, so even though we're pretty much in the halfway point of this Chaos Emeralds department, so even though that we're hopefully gonna get them all eventually, so even though that will going to happen, so... Yeah, I really love the details in the Game Gear version in the Jungle Zone because there are plenty of fruits in the background, whilst in the Master System version they don't have any fruits in it at all. Which, that makes it more, begging for asking yourself is that, the Master System version came out first, and then the Game Gear version came out after the Master System version came around. So even then, that what makes it a little bit more, difference when it comes to those two different versions. So even then, yeah. I apologize for this little bit of a awkward dialogue, ladies and gentlemen, because, I've been constantly talking way too fast, so even though that, yeah. So, few things I want to mention is that today was actually forms of the 2nd of August. And unfortunately for you guys, to those who'd be very curious about this, recently we managed to watch ourselves our next film during today, which is the form of the Emoji Movie. And I will tell you right now, it sucks. It so sucks, honestly. Because, one thing it makes, it feels more likely a ripoff of, both of one of my favorite Disney films, which are Wreck-It Ralph and also Inside Out. Because what makes these two films so unique by comparison to the Emoji Movie is because I believe Sony was actually running out of ideas, obviously, if I would recall correctly. And as far as the actual, those two films, mainly Inside Out and Wreck-It Ralph, what I found is those two films so interesting and unique is how the concept-wise is actually fully original. So even though, not so much for the Emoji Movie, and also same applies to, I really do like the Lego Movie, but even then though, that I still even love it to this day. But, it's just that Emoji Movie sucks. Just skip this. Anyways, now we move on to the Jungle Zone Act 2. And then basically in this particular act is concerned that we need to actually go climbing up onto the very top of the level. Now there's another difference between the Master System version and the GameCube version is that the Sega Master System version that if you go continuously going towards the vertical climbing area, what happens was though is that if you fall down to the level, you will going to die. So even though because the camera is going to go in a lock itself, so even though that if you do fall off in the level in the Master System version, then you're expecting you will lose a life. Thankfully, the GameCube version does fixes that issue, so even though you can fall down as many times as wanted to if you actually had several mistakes on platforming sections, which, I have to admit though, I really do appreciate about this, because I've never passed this level on the Master System version, which I must admit that I've never seemed to actually just accomplish that, so, anyways, there's a checkpoint right there. Oh no, the spike glitch is still present in this version, and sadly I managed to lose my life. Well, that's okay, because I'm pretty much guaranteed that I might actually, have to redo the whole level again? Oh, dang it. I must admit I haven't touched the checkpoint though. I think that's why I'm feeling a little bit too clumsy for this part, for this level for today. But even then though, I will manage to try to actually pass this part for the most part. So far I've managed to die like 3 times in the zone already. So even then though, that it might give you a lot of practice on this level in particular, but it's probably because of how the fact that it's on screen crunch at the moment. And also for the likes of, if you ever played the Master System version, then good luck with that version, because even then though, that if you're not patient enough, or even especially if you lose control of yourself, then you will go to die too many times, you know, because, you know, sorry for a little bit of a tongue twisting at the end, because, you know, I just felt really, rushed at the moment, so, anyway though, so I need to get myself some extra life, but I need to be very careful of these little spikes onto this little, tree logs, or any of that kind. Excuse me. That I, managed to realize about that. So yeah, we're pretty much at the halfway point of the game, ladies and gentlemen, which is quite surprising actually, because even then though, much like it does in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, there we go, thank you for the checkpoint. So even then though, I can pretty much guarantee I can get ourselves an easier time on this level, pretty much. So, anyway though, so apparently I made a mistake about the special stages department, is that there are 2 variations of these 4 special stages. That there's one version that consists of like you have more time to deal with, and also the second time you can actually just manage to deal with less time. So even then that's the only major difference between the second loop as well as the first loop. So even then that's the only major difference is the time limit system. So. And yeah, the Master System version that you get yourselves an extra life if you manage to like completely ignore the spring, because you don't want to toss the spring on the for the likes of this version, because you will get go all the way back down. Whilst in the Master System version, the spring is just a devil, because he will try to knock you out into the bottomless pit. Just be careful of that, mind you. So, anyways, on to the 6th special stage, if I recall correctly, which it might be feels very similar to the ones in the 3rd special stage, if I recall, or even the 2nd one. I may be wrong about this. But even then, the only major difference was, though, this time, is that they actually now added in these little, moving platforms that can be acted out as bumpers, basically. It can give you a bounce height, so... And I believe I got myself a 6th continue, so I should able to be pretty much okay with the continues now, because even then, that, you know, I might be well prepared for it. So anyways, now we move on to the 3rd act of the Jungle Zone. I really love the music in the Jungle Zone. Probably is one of my favorite musics in the entirety of the game as well, amongst that with the Bridge Zone, of course. So even then though, it kind of reminds me like I was in the Jungle Book environment, as well as Tarzan's environment, but even then though, for instance, for example, that we can actually go ahead and go onto this little swinging vines, but even though you don't necessarily swing on the vines until Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1 came around, but even then though, we can actually walk on vines, or stalks or whatever. So anyways... Here we go, on to the 3rd Dr. Robotnik fight, where this time around though, he's gonna be dropping his magic 8-ball? Well, it kind of almost resembles to that, but even then, except the fact that he'll try to kill you now. So even then, it doesn't say 8 number on the end, but even then, I kind of convinced it for myself, basically. So, anyway though. So this particular battle is a little bit tricky because of how the fact that you need to be position yourself for these little kinds of jumps like this. And sometimes, speaking of jumps, I always found myself it's really hard to actually get up into those little little vines and all that stuff with this specific jump, because if you don't jump at the right time, when you get to this pivot point over to these vines between each other, all that happens was though is that it does not even registering the jump correctly, so even then you have to watch out for that. So yeah, that's all it usually goes. Oh, god dang it. Mamma mia, what am I doing? Well, that's okay though, because I only got about, like, 7 lives at this point, so even then, I pretty much got this for the most part. So even then, I only died about 5 times, so even then, but specifically in the zone entirely, so even then, that's not too bad. Plus, the level length for the bosses themselves aren't that very long, it's very short for the most part. So, all you have to do in this battle is that you have to, like, you know, hit him like 8 times, and if you do, then the battle's over. So even then, but again, you do need to dodge this black ball over there, because even then, if you touch that, then instant death. So, and by the way, this particular section right there always catches you off guard if you do not jump properly, because if you do not actually jump properly at the very end of this little vine, you will fall off and die as well, which is kind of strange. But even then, no, that's only because of the camera lock position. So even then, no, yeah. And thank you for giving me an extra life back. And now we move on to the 4th zone, which was Labyrinth Zone. Really? How come we're getting into the Labyrinth Zone and it somehow makes this zone returning? So anyways, here we go, folks, on to possibly one of my least favorite zone in a game, Labyrinth Zone again. But even then, no, this time around, I was in 8-bit. However, though, I will admit, though, this version is not that bad compared to how it does in the Mega Drive version. I mean, still, you will move realistically slow because you'll be underwater, spending most of your time in underwater too much. However, though, the thing is, though, is that you need some air bubbles to survive in this particular level, as far as you guys should already know. But even then, though, that as you can see right there, I managed to grab one, and that means I can actually manage to restore time to actually breathe underwater for this with ease. So, I really don't mind this music for this much for this particular level for this. So even then, that I pretty much I must admit I must have really enjoyed this music so much. Oh god. Yeah, if you couldn't tell that the timer on this particular great, that stupid knockback. That's the thing I hate about the old school games sometimes, because it's that if you manage to get there's a checkpoint. Quick, grab it. Oh, thank you. So hopefully I managed to try to actually grab ourselves an air bubble as much as I get some time left. Come on! 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 Oh, phew, that was close. Well, thankfully though, the lagging frame rate can be helpful at points, even especially noticeable in Labyrinth Zone, for example, that if you think about trying to actually make it to the leaps of faith and all that stuff, sometimes it may actually just try to help me at one point, but still, sometimes this level can be really slow at times. In fact, believe it or not, this is actually the first time I've ever going to be exploring the Labyrinth Zone in the Sonic the Hedgehog Game Gear version, because I've never got to this particular level whenever I was playing through Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut, because the only level I managed to stuck on when I was a kid, it was actually forms of the Jungle Zone Act 2, because I constantly falling off all the time, and also died too many times, or even especially noticeable in the Bridge Zone's boss battles. Even then, no, that was the boss battle I always died the most in that particular level right there. So, but regardless of such though, until years pass, even then I've now managed to finally pass for those 2 zones of my childhood particular levels that I'm most likely stuck on. And by the way, freebie extra life in case if you probably already know, and finish the level just for that. So I believe we're now moving on into the 7th bonus stage, basically. So even then, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, but even though, as far as I recall correctly, every now and then they decide to actually now put it in too many bumpers. Which I might not looking forward to, I have to admit though, but I'll give it a try. So, at least as far as I may as well have to go for it, basically. Even then, though, there's only one part I always attempt to stuck on him, and that was the form of, no, too late, I'm stuck. I'm stuck! Where you go, you pink, platform moron? You decided to manage to make me stuck on this little disorientating screen. In fact, I do apologize for this, but this particular shot, folks, is probably because of how the fact that I'm pretty much stuck for the most part. So even then, I can't move anything now. I literally can't move right now. You gotta be kidding me. Stop it! This is not like Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1, where the 7th and final special stage that the bumpers can really screw you up. But nothing compares to this. Oh my god. Can we just go home now? Because I'm really getting sick of like getting bounced all over the place with this bumpers. Stop! Stop it! Come on, time, please. Thank you. Oh, that's annoying. But unfortunately, I didn't get any bonus for that, so that's okay. Because even then, I was really hoping for a 7th continue, but that's not gonna happen. Anyways, now we move on to Labyrinth Zone Act 2, where I believe that, oh yeah, if you jump over towards here, then we get ourselves the invincibility, or in this case, the ability of shield, then we can hopefully try to jump on it. In fact, one thing you actually know something wrong about though is that the physics, whenever you're trying to jump off this little water rapid, this actually feels a bit too weird. Like, it just allows you to actually bounce up really high, which I found was kind of odd. But even then, what allows you that actually happens is that you actually ended up getting hurt by, or in this case, you get killed by the spikes so easily. So, just have to watch out. So even then, that you should be able to clarify for doing so. Yeah, I apologize for this really weird sound chip or sound mixing issues in this particular music, because I thought to myself it runs very steady and all that stuff, but unfortunately they decide to lag the music up, which it may seem to happen. And if you go down here, this is where we get ourselves yet another extra life, which is simply placed right there. And thankfully, there's a spring over there, so even then, that way it can launch you back all the way to this spot really quickly. So even then, that should be pretty recommendable if you want to actually escape from this part. Especially noticeable, these, I don't think this level wasn't too much threatening for me. At least especially noticeable that, oh shoot, there goes my shield. In fact, speaking of such though, is that what makes it so a little bit more weird is the fact that if you get hit with the shield, if you can see on the Jungle Zone Act 2, is that what I found is super odd about is that every time when I get hurt with the shield, it's been gone and all. Whenever I get knocked back into the spikes, it still has the spike glitch ever since the Mega Drive version, but not too many times this time around from if you actually have no rings whatsoever, because these two get yourselves invincibility frames, but not exactly for too long though, because you only have like about, let's say about a split second. Oh, you stupid troll enemy right there. I really do hate you so much, I must admit though. And there goes my extra life because of the weird momentum going on here, or maybe the physics as a result of the underwater momentum going. But that's okay though, because I got a checkpoint right there, plus it's not too far, so even then and I'm pretty sure the music background is actually now reset into its normal self now, so even then I should be able to be glad for it. So, yeah, there's not much else, can say about this here, because, I really despise the Emoji Movie. I think this is easily the worst film of this year so far, because even then, because of this, it's a rip-off of, both of one of my favorite films, Wreck-It Ralph and Inside Out. But even then, I can watch those two films any day, rather than just that piece of crap. But even then, that's just in my honest opinion, though. So anyways, now we need to get out of here fast. Even then, I just need to get some air. Need to give me some more air. Come on. Hopefully I can manage to... Oh, that was a bit too early to actually just to dodge that. What I found super odd as well is the fact that every time you actually lose a ring, somehow zip passes through the ground, which I think is a little bit weird. But aside from that though, I don't really think you can't actually grab that already taken down ring, so even then that's a little bit strange. Anyways, Chaos Emerald locations actually forms off bottom underneath the spikes over there. Now, if you ever played this on the Master System version, is that the spikes, or in this case the Chaos Emerald in the Master System version, the fourth one most likely, is actually located underneath the spikes, or even in this case, in the spikes in general. In order to actually get it though, is the fact that you need to get yourselves a invincibility item box, and if you do that, and if you actually go really fast until you actually get to the spikes part at the very end, and then you're able to grab yourselves the fourth Chaos Emerald during that time. But it has been changed in the Game Gear version because of the, that it makes it a little bit more unpunishing and all that stuff. So even then though, pretty worth mentioning for that little departments right there. Anyways, now we move on to the third act of Labyrinth Zone, and what makes it so different compared to the Mega Drive version is that, although first things first, if we go up there, then we can able to actually grab ourselves an extra life. This is pretty tricky for the most part, because you have to go navigating through those tons of spikes. And if you manage to bypass those spikes, luckily I did manage to dodge that right there, but even then, as long as you actually dodge those things just fine, then you're able to actually just, you know, get on with it. Now, unlike the Mega Drive version, there you have to simply just chase Robotnik in order to actually finish the level. But this time, however, though, is that in the Game Gear / Master System version, we do have a proper boss battle in the Labyrinth zone. So even then, though, isn't that the same machine as far as the on the bridge zone is concerned? Although it is to me, though, but it looks like it's more likely identical. But except the major difference was, though, is that this time that occasionally that Robotnik decided to actually go for those 3 different positions, like, you know, for instance, in the on the top left and the top right corners of these 2 sides, he'll start to actually shoot out the missiles. So even then, though, that if he just comes out the bottom, he will still shoots these 2 projectiles. But thankfully, it does comes up as like, no! I didn't meant to attack him from that point right over there. I was meant to be actually going to jump onto the other side, but even then, I thought I was a bit too late. But that's okay, though, because I can simply just restart the fight, so even then, because, you know, it's not that long to actually get to it. And what makes it so much more positive side of things is that you don't have to worry about the air, because you're pretty much infinite on the air meter as far as I'm concerned with. But even then, I'm pretty sure because of this action in particular, it's pretty much limited with, you know, with unlimited amount of, you know, air and all that stuff. So even then, that level's quite generous when it comes to surviving underwater. Although this is the only time that usually happens like this. So even then, I kind of wish I kind of wish that particular gimmick will make a return until, you know, Sonic Mania were about to come around, but even now I'm not exactly 100% sure. In fact, speaking of such though, we only got about, more accurately, we actually got about 13 more days to go until Sonic Mania were about to come around on the PlayStation 4, Xbox Live, do I say Xbox Live? I meant Xbox One and Nintendo Switch and PC, so even then I'm still looking forward to it. And of course, much like last time, it only takes about 8 hits on this guy, so even then, yeah. So, we're going to end things off here, so yeah, join us next time on Let's Play Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Game Gear / Sega Master System version. It's the fact that we're going to move it on to the 5th zone in the game, known as Scrap Brain Zone, and yet another returning level from Sonic the Hedgehog 1 for the Mega Drive. So see you guys then. Later, fellas.